G'day, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for Monday the 25th of August. I'm Jackson. As always, you know how it is, timecodes will be in the description if you want to skip through stuff, things you already know, all that jazz. This set's okay, 15 seals, a couple of good ones, a couple of ones I'd probably skip. The only one I'd really not bother with is water medals, and if I were to choose, I'd go these three. Visions is okay, it just definitely takes longer than these, and award medals will definitely be the longest. The reason I say that is, if you go to the help menu and you type in medal, it'll show you what you need to do in order to get medals. In most cases, like 100 medals for an assist is probably going to be one of the easiest in death matches. But yeah, relics, like you need to do things related to the actual relic game mode. The problem I have with this one is you need to be a bit like, you need to learn Battlegrounds and you need to learn PvP in order to be able to do this reliably and in quick succession, or you need to rely on the rest of your team to be good enough to help you with that. And yeah, relying on other players, not always a good move. You could get a really bad team and it could take ages. And if you're reliable enough to be able to do this on your own easily, then you're probably experienced and established in the game enough for these options here to be just really easy for you anyway. So yeah, it's like a catch-22 thing. Either you're good enough for Battlegrounds where you'll be established enough where these are easy, or you're not good enough in Battlegrounds where this will be quick enough to do anyway. So yeah, my advice is just skip it. Just do these four. So yeah, I'll start with these two because you can kind of do these both in conjunction. So collecting runestones first. So this is a runestone here. This is what you're looking for. So 5 of these bad boys. The easiest way to see them is the orange tint on the floor. They all do this, and you'll probably see that before you actually see the runestone itself. So collecting 5 of those is what you want, and basically in order to find a bunch of these, you just go to a wayshrine in a zone that you're comfortable with or familiar with. Basically just go in a straight line, and yeah, just keep an eye out for that orange tint. And while you're doing your reptiles, you might see a few of these, maybe 1 or 2, I would say you might, but yeah, you're probably going to have to look a lot further than a couple of reptiles for this. These are the runestones I've found over my time running around in Craglorn. So if you want to maybe just pause this and have a look at all these locations for runestones. This add-on that shows the pins on the map, this is a harvest map. So I'll link that add-on in the description if you want to have a look at it yourself. And I'll also link a USP page for runestones, just so you can have a look at what they actually look like, just so you know what you're looking for. But yeah, basically, as long as you can just be watching for that orange tint on the floor, you should be pretty good with this. And yeah, there's no better. It's not like there's one zone that's just the best for this. Every zone has tons of runestones all over the place. You just gotta you just gotta be a bit patient, look around. They always spawn in predetermined locations, but they can spawn in different ones. For example, one might be here, but one might not be here this time, and vice versa next time you go about them. So yeah, just run around. It should only take you a few minutes if you got a fast mount. So one last thing I forgot to mention with regards to runestones is surveys. So if you do enchanting writs, just like the regular daily writs, you can get surveys. And what these do is, on the map in that zone, you'll be able to go and find them, and it gives you 6 nodes that are guaranteed to you. Other players can't actually grab them. If they have their own survey, they collect their own version, and they won't affect yours. So it's like a guaranteed way to get 6 very quickly. So you get them as a 12% chance, drop rate every time you do an enchanting writ, or if you really want to do this as fast as possible, you can go and buy a unidentified enchanter report. But these are expensive, so yeah, expect to be speculating to accumulate right there. Do I think 15 seals for 10k is worth it? Personally, I don't. But I think spending 5 to 10 minutes doing this endeavor is good. Whether you think that's good time investment is your call. Entirely your call. Also, if you want to know the add-on for this, it's Lost Treasure that shows it on the map here. I'll link that too in the description, alongside the Harvest Map add-on. Should be pretty quick. Alright, so next up, Reptiles. So there's a few good options here that I like to use. Kagutis in things like Shadowfen are a good one. So they count as reptiles, as do Guars. So these are both quite numbered in Shadowfen, all over the place. There's also Wamasu, but they're quite tough, so yeah, might advise just skip those. Crocodiles as well. These are 3 creatures that you will find in a specific location in Shadowfen, so let me show you. So this is basically around Alton Coromount, so around this area here. So it's actually really easy to get here if you haven't been before. Stay Moist Mansion. This is a house that you can look at in home tours. So if you go browse homes, go all the way down to ST, Stay Moist Mansion. Travel to this, go out the front door, and you rock up right here. And this will give you all this big area here, which is just full of reptiles all over the place. Guars, Kaguti, I think Allets also count as reptiles. The little pony guar critters, these don't actually count. They're considered wild or domestic animals, which is a different endeavor. But yeah, if you want to do that endeavor at some point, you can do that too. The one creature that I believe doesn't work are lamias. I need to go and find some. Just to show you that they don't work, just for proof. Okay, so lamias. So these don't actually count as reptiles for some strange reason. They don't count as like amphibious creatures or aquatic creatures. They count as humanoid foes, oddly enough. Or barbaric foes is the other one. It's kind of weird. There is a better option that I prefer for reptiles, and that is, it's this dungeon here. It's called Blessed Crucible. You might have already done it. So if you have it already, you can travel straight there, but I'm just going to show you what I know is the quickest way there if you haven't been there before. And again, we're using home tours. So Old Mistval Manor here. So just give me a sec to select this one. So here it is. We're just going to travel to this. Doesn't matter which one. And it'll be free. And yeah, you just travel out the front door. You'll be taken to the Rift. Alright, so once you make it to Old Mistval Manor, just travel southeast down this road, and eventually you'll make your way to the dungeon you're looking for. So when you come through this way, oh, there's a Thieves Trove. There's a lot of enemies in the way here, just try and make a way around them. Wooden palisade wall here. As soon as you get down here, you see this statue, just turn right. There's another Runestone, might as well grab that while we're here. So this is Blessed Crucible. This is the dungeon we want for reptiles as well. The reason this is good is, one, if you travel there straight from a wayshrine, when you leave through the front door again, you'll get taken straight to that wayshrine. So it means whatever you want to do after this, it's just very convenient to get straight back there. And two, it's instant, so you're not waiting for stuff to respawn if the area is like really busy, which might be a thing with that reptile location, because that's usually where other people go. Yeah, it just means no matter what's going on, this will always be a reliable source. It's just that the enemies are a little bit tough, that's all. Tougher than Overland. But just make sure you have like one good AoE skill and you'll be fine. And there we go, all done. So now heading to the front door. And now we can make our way back out. Alright, time for stealing blue items of better. So there's 3 ideas or 3 options here that I like to use, that I suggest. Thieves Guild is the best one. Necrom is like the middle ground, and then base game is just like the one if you otherwise don't have a choice. So I'll start with the Thieves Guild option. The reason I say Thieves Guild is in order to be able to unlock Carry Seatless, which is the thing that you want, you need to actually reach a Bar's Landing and discover this. Even if you don't own Thieves Guild, if you've got ESO Plus or done the ESO Plus free trial in the past and been to a Bar's Landing, you'll also be able to use this. So yeah, I did bring this up a little while ago for ESO Plus's free trial. If you did that, yeah, you should be able to do this. So what you want to do is in Daggerfall, the castle here, you can do this in Heathbane as well, in the bank, but I just found this one's a little bit easier because these 2 people here, if you've got any degree of like stealth detection reduction, which you can get from medium armor with improved sneak. You can get it from being a Khajiit, or if you go to the champion points, you can get it with out of sight right here. So if you get a bunch of points in this, you can also not be spotted. So it's this guy here that usually gets in the way, but even then, just make sure he's not like walking past here and you basically won't be spotted. So what you want to do is loot this storage chest, and there's a gold inflammable rug here. If we take this, it counts as a blue quality item. But what we do now, because you might be thinking, oh well, what do you do now? You've got the item. What you do is you destroy it, and like a magic trick, the storage chest comes back. So if we loot this again, you can see it's actually back here. So all you need to do is just destroy it when you get it, and then loot it again, and that's the whole endeavor done in about 10 seconds. Well, I suppose a minute traveling up the stairs, but you get the point. It's very, very quick. Alright, let me go through the Necrom option. So you need the Necrom DLC to get access to the Necrom Underways, which is the place you want to use for this. Yeah, unfortunately, not possible even if you don't have the DLC, unlike this one. So if you've never been to Necrom before, this Wayshrine is unlocked by default. So it's actually quite easy to get to the city. You can also use Home Tours to get to Journey's End, which takes you to Necrom as well. But it's not a big deal if you don't use that anyway, because yeah, it's just like a minute going down the road over the bridge. Alright, so here we are in the Necrom Underways. So to get here from the Wayshrine, it's just travelling up this road basically. So once you're in here, what you're looking for is these urns here. If you want to make this a little bit quicker for yourself, as long as you've got a bunch of inventory space, if you go to Settings, Gameplay, and Auto Loot Stolen Items set to on, this will mean every urn that you loot, it'll just immediately loot everything. It's good in here because you don't have to worry about guards in here. There is nobody in here aside from players, and the players won't spot you anyway. So yeah, it's impossible to get a bounty in here, which is the reason I suggest it. So you are looking for anything blue quality. So you'll get crafting motifs. You might get blue, purple, or gold there. Yeah, blueprints or recipes. You'll get blue, purple of those as well. They're not super common, but yeah, you've got a green one there. Every now and then you'll get the blue one. So yeah, basically you just go through and just loot everything that you can see. And there are fucking so many urns in here to loot. The small ones are the ones you loot, not the large ones. Just keep that in mind. Okay, there we go. So I've got a blue quality pattern there. Or two more things. Firstly, say you clear everything in this entire place. What you can do to reset everything in this whole room is, because entering the Outlaws Refuge counts as leaving the zone, it resets all the containers. So if you go in here, turn around, go back in, it will actually reset everything in the Necrom Underways. So if you manage to get through everything and are not able to find a blue quality item, that is a way to guarantee that everything is reset and give you another chance. Just understand, the fences, if you sell all these items you've stolen to them, there's only a limit to how many you can sell per day. So that's going to be your main like roadblock. And in that case, yeah, if you get really unlucky, you might have to like deconstruct a few items. But yeah, it's not too bad anyway, usually. One last thing with the Necrom one, because Azandar is also a character you can get through the Necrom DLC. Now, you're going to have to bear with me. I've never actually used Azandar, so I'm not absolutely certain this works. But based on what I've seen and read, if you just have him with you, like active as a companion, you'll get research portfolios while you search all these containers in the Underways, and the containers can have some furnishing plans or contraband. And this stuff here can be blue or purple. In that case, that can also speed up how quickly you do this one too. So keep that in mind. If you've got access to Azandar, if you've done this quest, bring Azandar out and it should speed this up quite significantly. Unfortunately, for the other option, which is going to be the slowest, if you don't have Necrom, you don't have Azandar. So yeah, base game will be the slowest, but it's still not too bad. It'll probably take you just a few minutes. Alright, so with base game, you basically do the same thing as you do in Necrom, except instead of looting from the Necrom underways, where it's completely safe, you kind of have to do this in places where there's guards around. But you just have to do it a little bit differently. So firstly, settings, gameplay, make sure auto loot is set to off, because you kind of want to be window shopping for this one and looking through dresses to see if there's any blue quality stuff, and then once you know something's there, then you go into stealth and loot it. Because yeah, if you just do it naturally that way, you're going to fill your inventory up just too much, I think. Well, if you're doing Necrom, you're doing this, but yeah, this is how I do it. So yeah, what I do is I just go through every like piece of furniture or like every coffer in this room. So this is the Auridon Bank, the Vocal Guard Manor and Treasury. Now you can go to the other places and check, but I just find the Treasury, going to the Way Shrine, to Glenumbra, and to the castle where you do the Thieves Guild option. Like checking every wardrobe and like coffer in the castle, and then just coming back here. You could also do the same thing with the tavern in Daggerfall. So yeah, I suppose I'll go through that too. But I just find that there's less options there. But yeah, I'll just start with this. So yeah, just go through the trunks here like this, the backpacks. See, that was a green quality recipe. That like stuff like that might be blue sometimes if you're lucky. So yeah, just keep going through all this stuff here. The dresser here. The sacks don't usually have anything. They have like food items, and they don't come in blue or even green usually. Yeah, sometimes they do. Like these crates are the same. They have food items in them. But these wardrobes here can sometimes have blue stuff. So check that. Now these items here can be a pain in the ass to get into. You'll have to wait for everybody to be gone. But if you hide right here, you can actually not be spotted by the person actually opening the way. You can actually just get stuff from it, and they don't even notice. This room is really good though, because in here there's 4 furniture items. Some of them are empty, but sometimes they're full. But there's only cats in here, so you can't actually be spotted taking stuff from here, so it's really good. Yeah, just check that stuff. Now we leave. And what I do now is I just go to the Way Shrine, and now I travel to Daggerfall and do the same thing over there. So the reason I travel to Daggerfall now is when you leave a zone, just like with the Necrom Underways going to the Outlaws Refuge, I suppose you could do the same thing with the Outlaws Refuge here or in Daggerfall. There's one here or here. That resets all the containers in the zone. So all those coffers that I checked there, they'd be full of like different stuff now. So you can do that to reset everything and have another go. That's basically how this works. Just basically bashing your head against the wall until you find some blue quality stuff. So in this case, you've got some items here, this cabinet, for example, but that's a food one, so usually it doesn't have anything. This stuff in here, it's kind of hard to get because there's so many people around, but if you go upstairs, it's much better. So you've got the desk over here, you've got wardrobe, you've got cabinet here. In here, you've got a bunch of stuff, but this is all like usually food-based ones, but you got a backpack here you can check. Yeah, you can get really lucky, and sometimes there'll be a good one in there, but not usually. So over here, there's a wardrobe. There's some cupboards there. So this is funny, right? Because these people, they kind of don't exist. They are apparently figments of your imagination that can't see you. And I don't know for sure, but I think if I steal this, I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get a bounty. So tribute players don't actually count as NPCs for like bounty or like justice system purposes, so don't worry about them. Just steal to your heart's content. I think there's just like a NPC downstairs that nearly sees me. So up here you've also got some crates. Up here is actually really good because you've got some cabinets and some backpacks. But yeah, it's just luck of the draw. Basically just keep searching these until you find something. Once this has all been searched, just go outside, and now we head to the castle over here. It's the same place we went for the inflammable rug for the Thieves Guild one. So from the Way Shrine, you can come up here instead of going that way around. I find this just a little bit quicker. Yeah, not very important though. All right, coming up here, Daggerfall Castle, open up. So immediately, over here, there'll be a wardrobe. Just check that. Don't bother with any of that stuff because I don't think there's any green qualities or blue quality stuff. So check that thing there, and there you go. So we've got a Khajiit style motif. Now, if you're really in a rush, you can just take the item, and even if you get a bounty and get spotted and have to pay and get rid of your stolen items, you've stolen it already. The damage has been done. If you've got the item, you don't need to worry from that point. But yeah, you can be a bit patient, wait for the person to go away, and you can actually take from it. As long as you don't take the item until people are away, you won't get a bounty. So there's a trunk here, wardrobe here as well. Got a blueprint there, which is green though. Cupboard. That's usually got food in it though. Got a desk. Just be careful. The drink here, you can actually steal these from desks, and because it doesn't ask if you want to take it, you take it straight away. So that might give you a bounty if you're not ready for it. Just be careful when you check these desks. There's a desk there. This room is great because there's the nightstand, the wardrobe, the dresser, the nightstand, the dresser's here, backpack, trunk. There's like heaps of items in this one room alone. So you can check all this stuff here. So going through, just be careful. Oh yeah, perfect. So there you go. So now you just wait for this guy to go away, and then you'll be able to steal it. Oh, okay. It looks like I can actually line of sight him behind the wardrobe. Okay, never mind. So yeah, you can steal that one as well, and that'll be all your blue items done. And yeah, check the dresser here. Nightstand's empty, backpack's open, trunk as well. And once you've done that, just go down the stairs. Go back to the Wayshrine over here. Go back to Oridon. Check the bank. All those containers in the bank. Again, just go back to the Wayshrine. Go to Daggerfall. Repeat the process until you get your desired item. Last option, visions. So, firstly, Infinite Archive. How do you get here? It's in the Apocrypha DLC's zone. However, it is base game. You don't actually need to have this DLC to access this. This is available to everyone. You don't even need to, actually traveling here is available, like, as soon as you create your character. So it's really, it's available for everyone. Now, you might struggle as a level 3. You do need to have, like, a decent damage dealing build, otherwise it'll take ages. Anything that you can, basically, if you can complete, like, a typical normal dungeon on your own, you can do Infinite Archive pretty well. So cycle bosses are what you need to get a vision, and you need to beat 2. Now I would say on average getting to a cycle takes around 5, maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes at like the worst. So this should take about 20 minutes, hopefully. So yeah, if you want like just a basic rundown of a build for this, it'd literally just be anything you'd find on like a damage dealer build website. Like basically just run like Order's Wrath or Hundings or any of those damage sets, and just make sure you have a bit of healing as well, because yeah, the enemies will all be attacking you, so you're not going to have a tank or anyone defending you. Now you can do this with a companion or another player, and it's much easier that way, but companions require DLCs, players require you to wait longer. So if you want to do this on your own, I reckon that's better, but yeah, it's up to you. But yeah, you can totally do this on your own. But you can accept the quest here if you want to go further. 2 visions will be basically a little bit less than halfway to get the quest done. So if you want to keep going, if you find you enjoy Infinite Archive, just grab this, go all the way, see if you can beat the final boss, or the final boss of an arc, because it basically just goes on forever. So that's called Infinite Archive. But yeah, the quest is really good because you get 500 fortunes, which is the currency that you use to spend on the shopkeepers here. But yeah. Other than that, if you just want the 2 visions, you're not going to get all that way. Right, so to start off, you enter the Archival Wings. That's how you get this show on the road. Alright, so firstly, so this is a stage. So there'll be 3 waves of just regular enemies. So the first wave is always 2 melee enemies and 1 ranged humanoid enemy. Okay, so every time you complete a stage, you get a verse. So these are like visions, except they're very temporary, but much more powerful, usually. Some of these can be kind of not that great. Like these ones here, they're okay, but like in the early stages, you don't really need all that much defense anyway, so it's best if you get like the offensive ones. But yeah, these last until the next stage is done. So yeah, these aren't super important anyway. Alright, so same thing, there'll be 3 enemies, one will be a ranged one. Find where the ranged one is. Stack the enemies together. It's easier to stick on the ranged enemy because they will always move around, whereas the melee enemies, they'll follow you around, so they're easier to stack. Sometimes you'll just get all ranged enemies though, and in that case, you can do things like, for example, go all the way to the other side of the arena, and they'll all like kind of have to go to the same spot, and you can see them doing that now. But sometimes it's not worth trying to complicate matters too much. So yeah, it's your call. So the third wave of every stage has, well, majority of the time we'll have one of these bigger enemies. So in this case we get the Iron Achinarch. Some of these I think are worth focusing first, some are not. The Iron Achinarch is one of the exceptions of ones that I like to focus first, because I find their heavy attack is fucking brutal. Same with the Wraith Crew, I always focus those first. So we get another verse. Yeah, I'll go Phalanx because this thing's funny. It's the lads. They're back. So this one here, it just stuns enemies, and it's really funny because if it's like minions, they get knocked back and they just keep getting pelted in the head. All right, so this is a vision. Oh, this is the guy that gives you a vision. So this is a cycle boss. A massive assortment of like different bosses will be available here from various different dungeons, world bosses, all over the place. So usually the first one will be pretty straightforward, but after this, usually the second cycle boss and like all those ones are more advanced. So yeah, it can depend. Some of them can be an absolute nightmare, some of them can be fucking a pushover. This guy here is not too bad. Yeah, look at him go! Look at him go! Can you stun the guy for me? Yeah, stunning him! These lads putting in work. But yeah, you get the picture. Just typical bosses from stuff you've seen in the past. Right, so beating a cycle boss gives you a Muniment chest. This gives you some Archival Fortunes, and it also gives you a vision. So these are what you're looking for. We get Crystalline Strikes. Now that you can actually re-roll these if you don't like these, I wouldn't do this for this endeavor because it's that's not worth it. You only get 200 per boss, so yeah, just hold on to your fortunes, I think. But yeah, some of these can be quite shit. Some of these can be pretty good. Like I don't use damage shields. I don't have any frost damage, so these are kind of useless to me. But yeah, it's not too important. You're not worried about the long term here. You're just worried about getting the endeavor done. So we're halfway now. So all you do now is you go into the portal and it'll take you to the next stage, and the cycle literally repeats. So you've got to do this stage with 3 waves of enemies, maybe one big enemy, and then you'll get another stage with 3 waves of enemies, and then maybe a big enemy, and then you'll get a cycle boss. Now, when you want to leave, you always have to go to the next stage after you've completed one. You'll see this door here. This is what you're looking at. Just be careful not to go too close to this, because as soon as you enter this circle, you start the next fight. As long as you don't do that, you'll be able to use the door here. So this takes you back to the entrance. So there's one more thing I want to talk about. So this is the door if you want to leave. That's what takes you back to the Waste Shrine. This here, though, is useful. So if you get a boss that you don't want to fight, for example, there is a dragon. I think it's the ice one. I hate fighting that thing because it's got like a drive-by attack where it basically one-shots you. So usually when I see that dragon, I'm just like, nah, not interested. I'm going to use this. I'm going to reset the instance. And then when I leave, Infinite Archive will be reset. Yes, I'll have to do 2 more stages, but you'll get a different boss. One that'll usually be easier. Because yeah, some of those bosses can be fucking absolute nightmare fuel. Like the Celestial Warrior as well. Getting that one on the first arc where they have really low health, they just spawn so many enemies you just can't deal with it. But yeah, you get the point. So yeah, just use that if you get a boss that you just don't want to deal with. Yeah, you saw what is going on. It's like a typical build, and yeah, it's not much effort to put into it, and you'll get it done. So yeah, any questions or any insights for me, just let me know. But yeah, that's the set, so it's not too bad, I think. Alright, thanks everyone for watching, thanks for your support as always, and I'll see you next time. Take care for now.